Hey everyone, Nicholas from Growth Marketer here, and in this landing page audit, we're going to be looking at a local services company, and the category that I picked for this is plumbing. So this is a very common type of local service, and these are real examples that I found on a Google search in my area here in Boca Raton, Florida. So it's a little bit different from some of the other landing page audits that I've done because I have multiple pages here because I want to show you the three different types of local service pages that I see quite often. And this applies to all different types of services, whether it's a plumber, an accountant, a local bank, a repair company, a landscaping company, a pressure washing company. There's a whole bunch, even medical professionals, doctors, lawyers. Usually what I see are three different types of pages depending on the company. And I'm mostly talking about companies that are advertising on Google using search campaigns, and so they're targeting specific keywords. So the first type of page is where the company is just using their homepage. Like this example here, and it's really not optimized very well. It's usually very cluttered. There's a lot of different calls to action, and it's not really intended for that paid search experience. And for each of these examples, I also have the mobile optimized or the mobile version here so that we can go through that. As we all know, mobile is very important, especially for local services. You really need to focus probably much more, not probably, but definitely much more on the mobile experience than you do on the desktop experience, because most people are going to be doing that Google search on their mobile device. The second type of page that I see quite often is an interior page, so it's not a home page, but you can definitely tell it's optimized more for search engine optimization or SEO rather than conversion optimization. And if you've been listening to my other content, you know that there's a huge difference in optimizing for conversions versus optimizing for search traffic, right? And so this page or pages like this are usually going to be very wordy, very long. They're not going to have a clear call to action. And you can tell they're just trying to write a lot of content to try to get it to rank for something. But where's the call to action? You really don't really see one here except for this little tiny phone number way here at the up in the top. And yeah, you can see it's just a lot of text. The third type of page is the best one, and this is where the company is using an actual landing page. And more often than not, it's usually going to be on a subdomain. This page, for instance, is using Unbounce to build the page, which is what I recommend. If you want to give Unbounce a try, I will put a link in the description of this video where you can try Unbounce for 14 days absolutely free. And if you decide to stick with it, you can get 20% off. That's the platform that I use for pretty much every landing page I build. Huge fan of Unbounce, and I totally recommend you check it out because you can create something like this very easily without needing to be a developer. But anyways, I digress because that is not the point of this. I'm not trying to promote Unbounce in this video. I just wanted to show you an example of a very well-designed page and what you can do. So you see the difference here between these examples. So you got the home page, you got the interior page, and then you have an optimized landing page. And this is the mobile view. Now this landing page is certainly not perfect. There's a lot that I would recommend, but I think compared to the other two types of pages, it's definitely one of the better ones here, and definitely the best of these three examples here. So let's go through each one real quick, and I'll point out a few things. And all of this can probably be adapted to other industries or even things that are not local services. So if you're not a plumber, hopefully you can still get a lot of value out of this because a lot of these principles are universal. And a lot of what I'm going to cover is based off of this model here. This is our 10-point conversion framework. And so everything that I do when it comes to landing page optimization is based around this framework where we want the landing page to convey message clarity, offer relevance, design and affinity. We want that to be very strong. We want to have strong social proof. We want to have strong trust and security signals. We want to have some type of unique advantage if possible. We want to have a clear call to action. And then these three items, these are more about like the experience, not the content of the page, but the experience of what it's like to navigate through that page and use that page, interact with it. So interaction, that's things like, does the form work? Does the button go where it's supposed to go? Does it call the actual number if it's a click to call phone number button? Speed, as you know, is super critical these days with all of the updates coming out from Google with Core Web Vitals and just all the different metrics you need to pay attention to. So you want to make sure your page loads fast. And then of course display, this is where we really focus in on the experience on mobile, because that is often overlooked. And there's a lot of really good designers out there that design a beautiful page on that desktop experience, but then when it comes to mobile, it's sort of an afterthought. And so as I go through these, I'll try to reference some of those points. Okay, so let's dig into this first example here. So I think I searched for local plumber or plumber near me and just clicked on some of the results here. And so the first one is West End Plumbing. This is a real company. And you can see here the first thing that is sort of distracting is this slider here. It keeps scrolling. I see there's all these different offers. And if I was looking for a plumber, I wouldn't know which offer to click on. It's overwhelmed. So this goes to message clarity. We want to simplify the message. We want to have just one clear call to action. And usually it's as easy as like get a consultation, or in this case, get a free estimate, right? So a local service company, you probably don't want to just hire them outright. You want to get some type of estimate, or at least get them on the phone and see what they can do for you. So by being a little bit too forward with these offers, that might turn people away because they feel like, well, I can't really get a free estimate. They just want to sell me something right away. The other thing is, you see how distracting it is with all these different links. Then they have some more links. Down here at the bottom, it's just link city on this page. That's another thing that we would want to avoid, because we want to have simplicity, and we really want to focus in on just one main call to action, which should be to get in contact with them and get your free estimate, or redeem the offer, or something like that. Here you see schedule an appointment today, but the button doesn't even stand out that much because there's so much else going on the page. It's not even really in this hero section here. It's a little bit below it. And it looks so similar to these other buttons and these other icons, you really don't know what to click on. 100% financing, well, what if I'm not ready for that? And this is like a whole different service, because here it's talking about water heaters, but what if I had like a leaky toilet? Because all I searched for was plumber near me, right? So there's too many different things going on, which is very common of home pages, because home pages are not meant to be optimized for one specific thing, which is why I recommend not using a home page if you're running any type of paid advertising campaigns. And you have some text down here, again, with a lot of other links. I like that they have these trust icons here. So this goes to the trust and security element of our framework. So you want to have some trust and some security built up on the page. And a great way to do that is to list out some notable brands that you work with, or you're affiliated with, or you have certifications from. So they did a good job there. Then they have some other things down here, which, again, not very relevant to someone who's just searching for a plumber and needs help right away. Maintenance agreements, coupons, pay your bill, free phone estimates. Just, I wouldn't know where to click because there's so much going on here. Then, are these videos? Let's see. Yeah, they are actually. These are videos, but they have no play button. That's interesting. And there's 5 of them. How do you know which one to click on? I don't know. Then you have this testimonial section. Look how many testimonials there are. You might not be able to see it, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's like 20 testimonials here with this little slider thingy, but no headshots. So if you're going to have a testimonial, usually having a headshot is going to make it look more authentic. And again, less is more when it comes to a landing page. You don't need to have 20 testimonials. You need to have maybe 3 really good ones. Then you have the news and the blog, right? Because everyone wants to check out the news and the blog for a plumber's website. Not the most fascinating topic, but again, this is something that, sure, you can have it on your homepage, but you don't necessarily need your homepage to be the page that you are then running paid traffic to, because it's just very, very distracting. And then the page closes out with no call to action at the very bottom, right? So at the very least, you want to have maybe a sticky header where you have a persistent call to action at the very top. But in this case, you don't have that, and you don't have a call to action at the bottom either. Let's check it out on mobile real quick. Mobile's even more messy than desktop. You can see text is getting cut off here. They have an RSS link. I don't know why that's the first thing that stands out for me. They have a Facebook link. So again, you're taking people off the page. It's distracting. They have a phone number. Let's see. It is click to call, so that's good. So you got one thing going right there. You always want to have a click to call phone number, which is very easy to set up. You have to put in a certain format for the link. It's a TEL : and then the phone number, and that will then be clickable on a mobile device. And you really want to do that if you want to encourage people to call. And then you have this very small Better Business Bureau badge right here, hard to see, and I don't know what purpose that's really serving, since it's so difficult to see. there's a lot missing from the page, right? So in terms of the design and the affinity, there's definitely not a cohesive brand here. There's not a clear call to action. I don't know if I'm supposed to click on one of the links in the footer or in the middle of the page, or schedule an appointment, or get financing, or check out the coupons. There's just so much going on this page. So now let's switch over to the next example, again from a local plumbing company. This one is probably a good page if you're going to be focused on SEO and you just want to rank for a specific term. So maybe they want to rank for, I don't know, Palm Beach plumbing repair experts, or professional plumbing repair service company in Palm Beach, something like that. This wouldn't be bad, although it's a little bit on the thin side in terms of copy, and it doesn't seem very original. But these are very typical interior pages when you're trying to rank for a specific term. But from a conversion optimization standpoint, I do not see anything here that's going to get me to contact this company. Because first of all, you have phone numbers here that are not click to call, even on mobile. Let's just confirm that real quick. Yep, not click to call. You have no call to action at the top other than this, which is click to call, but it's very hard to see. You don't have any testimonials. You don't have any trust indicators. So none of those badges or anything like that. So I could just see that this being, probably not a page that I would recommend, because there's just a lot of missed opportunities with this type of page. Although I do see this happen quite often, where companies are just linking to an interior page on their site, and they're sort of mixing up their search engine optimization goals and their conversion optimization goals by using the same page. So finally, let's go over to this third example, also a real example, a local company. And so this one is pretty good. So you see here how the call to action stands out. The headline's very simple. I searched for a local plumber, and it says you can get a plumber 24/7, 365, which is amazing, because one of the first things you probably think about when getting a plumber is, are they available now? Because usually you're going to have some type of urgent matter that you need help with. Get plumbing help now. So they repeat that. The form is pretty simple. Name, phone number, email, plumbing issue, submit. There's some things I would still change here. Like I would put a subheader under the form that lets me know, are they going to contact me within 10 minutes, 20 minutes, a day? What's going to happen? Like, people want to know what's on the other side of that form. And then submit is not usually the button choice that I would use for a form. I would use something more casual, like, get more information, or get help now, or something like that, or get my free estimate, something like that. Then you have the about us. This is probably another thing I would reword. I would make it more about the visitor, like how are you helping the visitor, instead of just about us. And no job is too small or too big for us, our services. See how there's a lot of copy here that talks about us and our and we. I would try to move away from that and focus more on the outcome that you've gotten for your customers. It's a small change, it's a subtle change, but it really helps boost the relevance, or the perception of relevance for the visitor, because they want to know what's in it for me. So you want every piece of copy on the page to really ring true to that phrase of what's in it for me. How can you help me, the visitor, rather than just tell me about the company and tell me about the life story. I like that they have the call number here, although for me personally, I like to have the phone number actually visible. And I think they have it here. Like this, I think, is a much better click to call button than call now, because sometimes people won't know that that's a clickable number, right? So it says call now, but they don't know how to do it. So you want to have that number visible somewhere. And they repeat the call to action in the middle of the page, which is great. They have a little bit of information on the different services, but not too much, which is also good, because you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to oversell the content. So here I'd be scrolling through. I'd say, okay, I have a leak, but I don't know where it is, somewhere in the house, so I need leak detection, right? And I see, oh, they do that, perfect. And then they repeat the call to action. It takes me back up to the form, and I can get in touch with them. And then here they have this offer, free home plumbing inspection with the $79 service call. So there's some additional unique advantage there, because they're offering something at a discounted rate. So I think that's pretty cool, because it's still related to the core offer of getting in touch with them and getting that initial inspection or evaluation. We also provide services to commercial properties. Okay, so this is interesting. So maybe this came out of a frequent question that they get asked a lot when people call up, like, hey, do you also handle commercial properties? And you want to be responsive to those types of questions. And if you're getting the same question again and again, it's a good idea to work it into your page, because that's something that people are thinking about. So you want to answer it in your page copy without overdoing it. And then this is a really important section. I would probably move this higher up on the page. So this is where they have 4 testimonials, not bad. Each one has the 5-star rating, and they have a date. They have, it's a short testimonial. I think this is really well done. The only thing I would wish to see here would be if they had either a headshot and a first name, or at least a first name, just to add a little more authenticity to them. Then they have these maps here to show the service areas, which is also good because you want to know, hey, where do they actually service? I think another missed opportunity here is they could have a call to action down at the bottom just to close out that experience. So typically I like to have a call to action at the very top, somewhere at the top, in that first screenful, whether it's on desktop or on mobile, which they have here. They technically have 2 of them. I like to have another one somewhere in the middle of the page if it's a pretty long page and not just a squeeze page. And then at the very bottom, I would always have another call to action, because a lot of times people will scroll, and then eventually they'll end up at the bottom and they won't know what to do, so they'll just go back. So you really want to give them that final push to remind them, hey, this is the action we want you to take on this page. But yeah, I think this is pretty well done compared to the other 2 examples. So there you have it. Those are 3 local service examples and the landing page experiences, and I hope you were able to take away a couple nuggets of wisdom here. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments, or you can reach out to me just by going over to growthmarketer.co/contact, or you can find me on social media. And I'll have a lot more of these types of landing page audits here on the channel. So be sure to hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button. And until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care.